to speak English back to them or like Korean.
Just because of the translating you have to do, like in your brain. Okay.
So it takes a while to like switch,
Yeah.
like my brain, I guess.
Because
Like,
so many, like for the structures, obviously they're different, but do you feel like one language has a structure that is more complicated than another, or is it just they're different so it doesn't matter?
they're just different. It
Okay.
doesn't matter, I guess. But I mean, like Japanese structure and Korean structure, like we share like some similar stuff too. In Japanese English, we have similar, but like in general, those are like really different. So like my students having hard time to make sentences because it's just really different for them, and even though I explain them, they can't really get it because they don't even know how English sentence structure works.
Yeah.
So if I explain, okay, English you have verb in the what's subject here, they don't even know what's subject in the sentence in English.
Now, are
sentence.
most of the students in your Japanese class, are they English students?
Yeah, they're
English
all
speakers?
they're
Okay.
all American. I have like 3 Chinese students.
Okay. We were talking about that today, Heidi and I, in our structures class, about how like we don't even know the structure of our own language. So it is so complicated if you get down to the nitty gritty. So that's why everyone says it's so hard to learn English, but like for you it wasn't any more difficult to learn English than it would be to learn Japanese. Except for the fact that you were taught English when you were learning Japanese.
Yeah. Well, I think for the Japanese, like once I like pick something up, like from at that time, I think it went fast.
Okay.
But English is more like, let me see, like since like Japanese, I learned that when I was young, so I wasn't really consciously like thinking like how the Japanese sentence structure are or like things like that. I just kind of like pick it up. But like English, I'm learning it. I'm like more conscious, and then I'm like, I have to learn that and learn that and stuff like that, and then like the anxiety actually like block my like improvement. I think like not these days.
Do you feel like it's hard because we have so much slang and just like informal speech? Like there's never really a line between our formal and our informal. We just kind of mix.
Yeah.
So do you think that is difficult about English?
That's difficult too. Like most of the time whenever I talk to like my girlfriends, female friends, it's a lot easier than talking to my guy friends because they speak differently. I think guys like they use a lot of like slang and like informal ways, but the other thing is I can listen, I can understand them, but I just can't use those even though like I understand them because it just doesn't like speaking is more like unconsciously just happen, right? Like without thinking.
Yeah.
But like, so I can listen better, but I can't really like output.
Yeah. Because if it's not a word you're used to using often, and it's just like slang, crap, shoot, something thrown in there that you're not used to using.
Yeah.
Okay. What about like music and stuff like that?
Music, like listening music.
Yeah, like English. Music that's in English, like we have rap and hip hop and is that...
I can't really pay attention to those lyrics because it's like now hip hop, like all those kind of music doesn't really have like lyrics, but like I can pick it up something, but I don't think I can like understand like what they're saying.
Well, I know even for me, like if I were to listen to say Eminem, like I can tell what he's saying, but I could never repeat those words back just because they're so fast. And like that's my mother tongue is English, but I could never do that. So I can't imagine how it would be. Now, do you think that people that have English as their mother tongue speak it very quickly, or do we tend to?
Yeah, speak. Yeah, I think people speak pretty quickly, and another thing is that like even though I can understand what they're saying, sometimes I don't know what they're talking about. Like if I don't know the contents, like if I don't know like, so if like for example they're talking about like some kind of music, but like obviously I don't know the musician, and then I just can't understand even though like I know the English, like
Like
I
you know the words,
yeah,
but you don't know
I can't
the
understand
context or the subject.
yeah. So it's not always like about language. Like I need like be, you know, if you don't know what they're saying, like that, like the contents, like you can't understand, even though I can.
Yeah. In our ELL class, we were talking about how it's a lot more difficult for English language learners to learn the language if we're teaching them like patterns and things without showing them how to use that. Like if I were to just tell you like here's a structure, it would be easier for you, correct, to understand how to use it if I showed you a structure within a sentence. Or would you just be like, oh, okay, I understand the subject, verb, object, or something like that? Do you think it's easier to learn with a context rather than just learning like a fact about it?
I think I'm more like learning from the fact and like the sentence, like the contents, the meaning, than structure. Because as I said, like I didn't really study the grammar when I was in high school because like my that period is kind of like, well, because I didn't know Japanese, so I like didn't really study for it. So
I feel like I keep repeating stuff, but I have to ask them. I think we only had to ask you like 7 to 10 questions.
Really,
So
then you
I
have
think,
to write an 8-page paper.
I know.
Yeah.
So hopefully we talked enough. About your family, are a lot of you said you have how many sisters?
I have 2 sisters and 1 brother.
Okay.
One of my sisters, she is in Japan right now. And
is that the one that you went to Japan with?
Yeah, well, like 3 of us, like all girls, like we went to Japan at the same time.
Okay.
So my younger sister, she went to middle school.
Okay.
I went to high school, and then my older sister went to college. So it's it's really different because like we have different like experience. So like my older sister, she was already like grown up, and then she went to college, so she feels like me right now, like being in like America. So like she's more like she can speak perfectly, but sometimes like her intonation is a little bit different. But like when I learned in high school, and then I didn't really pay attention to structure or anything, so like I can speak like just like native speakers. And my younger sister, but she knows more like polite way to say, and then she knows more like formal way to say, because that's when school teach you to speak better, like middle school, like behave in the school, like speak better, like not without using all the like bad or informal languages.
Yeah, so she's more of the informal and formal. She has more of that, where you have more of the just like mainstream Japanese. From being around the kids in school. Okay.
So it's really different.
Wow. Does your younger sister, does she want to come over here and study, or does she just want to stay in Japan?
I actually want. My younger sister, she's in Korea now.
Oh, okay.
She went back to
home.
Korea, and then she's going. Yeah, she's in grad school as well. And my older sister, she never ever like. I mean, she has like many Japanese friends, but she didn't have any like Japanese boyfriend, which kind of explains that she had identity already before she go to Japan, I guess. And then like I am just kind of whatever. And then my younger sister, since she has a lot of experience about Korea, she kind of like I don't know about Korea at all, so I kind of want to go back. And then that's why like she went back.
Yeah,
so,
that makes sense.
Yes, it's just
That's cool. I think we have like half an hour. That's probably enough for me to write about.
Okay.